for the GoodFellaz picks of the week. And you already know what we do when we do what we do. We review the hottest movies, TV shows, music, whatever's popping in the world of popular culture and entertainment. The GoodFellaz is talking about it and reviewing it. And my pick of the week is Marvel's movie, The Eternals. Now, what's interesting about this pick is because prior to it coming out, there was a lot of controversy. You know, Marvel movies usually are very highly rated and reviewed. Eternals, that was not the case. If you pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes scores, it was really low. Although, granted, there was a lot of reasons for it. And one of them is that this movie, Eternals, features a diverse, multicultural cast, and there was a certain scene in there, like a certain, that might have offended different types of people, and you know what I mean. So like I said, there was stories even behind that. But I gotta say, first of all, before this, I hadn't been to the movie since before the pandemic. This was the first movie I've seen since the pandemic. So anyway, I saw Eternals, and I gotta say, first of all, I wasn't expecting a lot because I heard the reviews, and let's keep it 100. The Eternals is probably like D-list characters of Marvel, and special shout out to Marvel. First and foremost, I gotta give props to Marvel because they do an amazing job of turning their B-list, C-list, and even D-list characters into legitimate properties. DC Comics actually needs to take a page out of their book because other than Batman, I feel like DC fucks up the majority of their properties. Like Batman, they're not gonna lose to Batman because he's Batman. But everybody else, it's real hit or miss with DC. But Marvel, on the other hand, first of all, like I said, we can go down the list. Iron Man, before Iron Man came out, he was C-list at best at Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy, you can go down the list. And Marvel does an excellent job of turning their lesser-known properties into contenders, which helps out just their whole movie and storytelling formula. So anyway, I go to see Eternals. I'm not expecting a lot, and I gotta say, it was a really good movie. It was also a different movie. Honestly, in my opinion, it wasn't really even a superhero movie. Like the classic superhero movie, good guys figure out that they can do whatever it is that they do. Bad guys pop up, they fight the bad guys, usual story. But Eternals is not that story. Honestly, like half of the main characters, I wouldn't even classify it really as a superhero movie. They're not like necessarily even fighting bad guys. Some of the main characters, the quote unquote good guys, they actually sit out the battle because they're like, nah, I don't want nothing to do with this. I don't want to spoil whatever, but one of the quote unquote good guys turns out to be pretty much the main villain in the movie. I forget the director, Chloe something, I forget her name, but she's actually done a previous movie that she'd done, I think won like an Academy Award. She's a really good director. It was very visually and cinematography speaking, it was very well shot. It seemed real. It wasn't like a CGI fest. And although it wasn't the most action-packed movie, I didn't mind that because it kind of, what this movie did, other than being a good movie, was it kind of set up, it was one of those movies that Marvel puts out that sets up future plot lines in their movies. This set up a lot of cosmic shit. Marvel has, their Avengers Earth-based heroes, and then they have their cosmic heroes like Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever. So this movie, like other than being a good movie, it definitely seeded a lot of plot lines for future movies. I could see some of the plot easily going into Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is coming out probably next year. It also kind of introduced you to the Celestials, who was like a major part of the Marvel cosmic universe. And without giving away too much, the end credit scenes were fire. And this is another reason Marvel wins. It's because their end credits always sets up future movies. it introduces, although, you know, these would technically be also C-list properties of Marvel, it kind of sets up something interesting that I could easily see going to Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3. And hey, if you're watching this by now, fuck a spoiler. There's even a quick cameo by Blade. I just want to throw that out there. I'm not gonna say how or why. It's not anything crazy, so if you don't know, you're not gonna know. But for everybody, like I said, if you're watching this right now, like I said, Marvel's slowly seeding in plot lines for future movies. The Black Knight plays a part in it, another C-list movie, but I can see what Marvel's doing, and I see how they filmed it and how they're gonna tie it in. Marvel does a great job of just, even their, like this could have easily been a throwaway movie, but even with this movie, other than being a good movie, they do a good job of even making it important to their future films. So, and then besides any movie that features Angelina Jolie and Salma Hayek, your boy is always gonna appreciate. To me, that was the dream 90s threesome right there. So for nostalgia purposes, I was all for that movie. You know what I mean? There's also some other shit in there. I really didn't care about the controversy that you might be hearing about. Personally, I didn't care. It wasn't even a big part of the movie. So whatever. Go check it out. It's a good movie. It's not your classic CGI action every 5 minutes type of movie. It's actually a movie that makes you kind of think, and it kind of just redefines, you know, the Marvel universe and sets up a lot of shit for future movies. And make sure you stay for the credits, because both end credit scenes very important to upcoming Marvel movies. So that's your boy Tommy Gunz, and out of 5 red cups, I give it 3.5 red cups, almost 4. My only knock on the movie is that it's very talk heavy. It's very dialogue heavy. If you come into this expecting to have like Avengers level fight scenes and graphics and shit like that, this is not the movie for you. But if you like, you know, acting and dialogue and just trying to figure shit out, this is a good movie. And then the cinematography and how they filmed it, very dope. So check it out. It's your boy Tommy Gunz. Eternals is my GoodFellaz pick of the week. We are the bad guys of this podcast shit. You already know how we do on a weekly basis. But you know what? It's about that time. So till next week. Peace.